Fala galera, welcome to a new episode of the Strategy Foundation series. In this one, let's talk about dashboards and visualizations. Well, dashboards and visualizations are not only a strategy-specific concept, it applies to a lot of stuff in even our daily lives, right? We have a dashboard in our car, we can see visualizations in many places, but with strategy, when we refer to a dashboard or to a visualization, we're normally referring to a visual object that helps us understand what's the meaning behind the data that we have. We will talk about the different types of visualizations we can use with strategy. For example, how to plot the data using a bar chart or using a grid or a heat map, different types of visualizations that conveys different meaning to the data. So let's go straight to it. I hope you guys like this one as well. All right, so let me start with a definition of what a dashboard is. So in strategy, a dashboard is a collection of pages, each of them containing visualizations that allow users to analyze and interact with data in one place, as you can see in this image right here, right? So in this dashboard, we have in the table of contents a few pages organized into chapters, and each of the pages, like the revenue analysis one, will have its own set of visualizations. As you can see here, this one we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 visualizations. We actually have a seventh one here explaining what we have in this data set. Now the next question is, how do I create my dashboards? You actually have two ways to create them. One is using library, a web tool like this one here. You go and click Create New Dashboard, right? This is the first option we have. We choose a data set and then we start creating our dashboard. A second option to create a dashboard is by using a client-based tool called Workstation. As you see here, I'm in Workstation. I have the dashboards blade available. I click this button right here. And that's quite interesting because that doesn't require, in theory, a strategy license. You can create your dashboards for free if you use the continue with offline. Of course, that's more like for the persons just willing to create visualizations and then later consuming that same person itself, not to share. It's not available to publish, that kind of additional stuff that we can do when we connect to an environment, all right? But again, these are the two different ways to create a dashboard. No matter if you choose library or workstation, as I'm showing right now here, you will be seeing the same dashboard canvas that I'm going to explain in the next part of the video. So in the next part of the video, let me go here to library and then create new on the top right corner, dashboard. First, I need to select one of my data sets. Could be, for example, one of the mosaic models that I created previously, maybe this one here. Then I choose create. And again, I see the dashboard canvas in web or in library, as we call it. Well, now it's time for us to define here pages and visualizations. Remember, we are right now in the very first page of the dashboard. We can see it here in the table of content. We can right-click, give a name to a chapter, give a name to each of the pages we can create. And then we start by adding to this table of contents here our visualizations. Now, in terms of creating visualizations, on the top center corner here of the canvas, we have the visualization icon. So if you click here, this is where you start to see the different types of visualizations. And not only this, once you hold the mouse over, you can see here, for example, grid, and it gives you a few examples. So if you choose the first one, you can create directory with customer information. Then you have a second one. Remember that every time you hold the mouse over, you will see a little description for the compound grid. In this case, we have the grid modern, the third one, and it gives you the requirements to build a proper grid model in this case, right? Now, if you feel like, no, that's not the visualization that I want, continue to explore the other ones. There's KPI, and inside of KPIs, you have iconic KPI, you have KPI itself, you have multi-metric KPI. So each one of those will give you options so you can start building your visualizations. Now you can go and choose, for example, bar, and there are different types of bars, bar charts in this case, vertical ones, or cluster bar chart, or horizontal ones. If you keep going down, you have matrix bar chart. So there are many different types of visualizations we can use. We can use the line chart. There are a few examples in here. There are pie charts, as you can see. For geographical analysis, there are two types available. You go here to map, and the first one is geospatial service, which uses Mapbox, and the other one is map, which uses Esri maps. So it will depend on what's the best for your scenario. On the bottom here, we have more. And then when it comes to more, there are a few available options for you to use. One that is commonly used is the heat map, as you can see here. Also, the bubble chart is a very interesting one, but of course, there are additional ones. And of course, you can build custom ones and add them here. There are also third-party ones that can be added to strategy. But that's a discussion for maybe another video, all right? So let me go and choose, for example, here, a basic grid, in this case. It's already there, right? And then I add a second one. Notice every time you click this box here, it will be adding new ones. So let me maybe add a bar chart now, hovering over here, choosing the vertical bar chart. And this way I start building that specific page of my dashboard. You can start positioning your visualizations anywhere you want. Whenever you see that blue line below or at the left side or at the right side of the current visualization, you just drop it and it will be there. If you want it in the bottom, you keep scrolling down, and once you see the vertical blue line right here, you just drop it there, right? So these are the visualizations, and of course, to fuel those visualizations with meaningful data, you need to go here and start choosing your attributes and metrics. For example, let's say I want my bar chart to show revenue by brand, gross revenue by brand. So what I do is I double click brand, and then I double click gross revenue, which is on the bottom right here. So this way I can see that visualization showing me revenue by brand. I can double click here in the title bar and give it a name like gross revenue by brand in this case. And then if that one is completed, I can just go and move to the next one, which is in this case visualization one. In here, I may just need like a simple grid that shows me, I don't know, what can we do here? We can show category and then the associated cost. So I double clicked category and then I double clicked cost. And I see that information right here as a grid. Would you like to change this and convert this maybe into a horizontal bar chart? You can definitely do so. You just go to the top right corner, visualization options right here. You click that ellipsis button, change visualization, and then you choose bar. And why not choosing instead of a vertical one? Let me choose a horizontal bar chart this time. All right, and you start to see the information this way. We also have here another grid as a third visualization. Let me add here maybe customer state. And now let me add net revenue. And this time, since we have geographical data, I'll be changing this one from a grid to a map. So let me go and click the ellipsis button. Once again, change visualization using the map this time. Let me go ahead and use the map, and why not choosing the Esri map this time, right? That can be the one I'll be selecting. So this way it starts to fill the map with information I used to have as a form in the form of a grid. I can hover the mouse over and see the numbers. Not all the states in this case are populated because not all of them are in my data set, but that's fine. I can hover the mouse and I can zoom in, zoom out, and see the data right here. Of course, I can later make this bigger or just wider, whatever you want to do with your visualization. This way you start organizing. I know this one is not a beautiful dashboard. It's just to show you guys how you create those visualizations. And later, if you go back here just to the side of data sets, you have, remember, table of contents. You can just right click this page, give it a name like initial analysis or example, whatever you want, and then you right click the chapter itself and you give it a name, overview, whatever name you guys want, right? And then you keep adding new visualizations, new pages. By new pages we mean you click here, you insert a new page, and you add more visualizations to your dashboard canvas. I'm not going to add many because I don't want this video to be like a large one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to save this one and let me go back and share you an existing dashboard with a set of visualizations. This one has its table of contents as well. As you can see here, the chapter is named dashboard. It's not a proper name, by the way, but anyways, just an example. And then each of the pages, as you can see here, inventory, they will have its own sets of visualizations. You can hover the mouse over. You can create it the way you prefer to make it beautiful, all that kind of stuff, right? So that's what I wanted to show in that specific video. We strongly recommend you guys to go and try creating dashboards with different visualizations. Remember, you can use the free version using Workstation, the one that I shown in the beginning of the video. And of course, here in Library, you have way more options to start creating. Oh, and by the way, just remember that in one of my videos, I already shared that there is a way to automatically create those different visualizations and pages in here. It's what we call auto dashboards, but that's a topic for another video. All right, so that was it for this one. As you just saw, you can create your dashboards in Strategy using the web application that we call Library. You can also use Workstation, the client-based application that you can install in your PCs and then create the dashboards in there, even for free in that case. So feel free to use it, create your visualizations, use dashboards, organize them in pages, and this way, I'm pretty sure you get a better understanding of your data. Once more, I strongly encourage you guys to share those videos, to like, and as I normally say, I'll see you at the next corner.